I am not meant to be contained. I hail from the winds of southern Colorado, relentless and piercing, enough to drive some people mad. I am the late night howls of coyotes, the wonder of the Milky Way, La Llorona and her ball of fire. I am newborn calves and tender foals, breaking ice and water wars. I am years of drought and the blessing of rain. I am a Santa Fe sunset, painted vibrant hues of orange and magenta. I am the Sangre de Cristos, Grandpa's mogotes, and the San Antonio Mountain. I am the burial grounds of my ancestors who refuse to be erased. I am the defiance of my grandmother, my uncle's carved face, and my sister's braided hair. I am a sea of wildflowers, an explosion of billowing clouds. I am double rainbows and fierce thunderstorms. I am not meant to be contained, for I am as vast as the land that birthed me, sacred as the people that raised me, infinite as the spirit that carries me. This is a poem I wrote one day when I was feeling particularly homesick and nostalgic for home, and at the same time was feeling incredibly distant and disconnected and sad because it wasn't as easy as just buying a plane ticket and going home. So I decided to write this poem to remember that no matter where I am in the world, I carry home within me. No matter how physically far I am always able to connect with the beautiful memories I have of home, of the people who I love and who love me. And I also always have that ability to connect with the person I am when I am home. That is a flame that I can always ignite and keep lit no matter where I go. If you are somebody who finds yourself missing home, maybe you live far away, or maybe you have a longing for a place that's not even your birthplace, but a place where you just feel true heart and soul belonging, but you can't be there right now, then this video is for you. Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome to the Self-Love Garden, where I share tips, ideas, and practices to help you fall madly in love with yourself and your body. My name is Ana Marquez, and I am your host, as well as a self-love and body image coach. If this is your first time here, please introduce yourself in the comments below. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And if you want to go along with today's theme, feel free to write where you are originally from as well, so I can welcome you to the community and cheer you on in your self-love journey. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing 5 remedies for dealing with homesickness. So the next time you are missing home and don't know what to do about it, you have these tools in your back pocket that you can use at any time. So grab a journal, grab your phone, and pull out your notes app to take some notes, grab some coffee or tea, and settle in, because I have 5 amazing tips to share with you. Let's get right into it. Tip number 1, engage your senses. So many of our memories are tied to our senses: sight, sound, touch, taste, hearing. Oh, I feel like I mentioned the same sense over and over again, but you get the point. I want you to write down and think about what are the ways that you can engage your senses that remind you of home. What sounds remind you of home? Maybe it's a particular artist or music genre, or maybe something that you listen to all the time growing up. What is a taste that you particularly remember from your childhood or upbringing? Maybe it is something that your grandma cooked you, or a family recipe that was passed down. I want you to write down all of these different senses that you can engage in and pick just one for this week to try out. Some of my favorites for home is I love to listen to cowboy music when I'm feeling nostalgic. I grew up on a ranch in southern Colorado, and when we were doing chores around the land, feeding livestock, breaking ice, we would listen to Tom Russell or Ian Tyson, who are really big cowboy singers in that space. So I will put on one of their albums and just lay on my floor and listen to them and allow all of the beautiful memories to come up. That's enough sitting on the fence. Fear of taking that. Tip number 2, journal with your grief and longing. Now, this is not as easy as the first step, but it is deeply, deeply powerful and a practice that I truly recommend. This is a practice that I learned specifically from a therapist that I follow named Cheryl Paul, who specializes in anxiety. And she has a book called The Wisdom of Anxiety, where she shares a journaling practice where you actually journal with specific emotions and feelings and really personify an emotion to kind of get to the bottom of what you're truly feeling. And I think this can be so powerful because if you're anything like me, you might feel really uncomfortable with some of these harder emotions. So things like grief and longing are not easy emotions to feel, and it's a lot easier sometimes to just try to push them away or to ignore them or to numb our feelings out so that we don't have to deal with the murkiness of it or the complexity of it or the hardship and the pain of it. But really, when we allow these harder emotions to come to the surface and we give them a voice and we give them space, we are actually doing ourselves a service and showing ourselves a massive amount of love, because we're communicating to ourselves, I accept you in all of these difficult emotions, and I am here for you. I am here to comfort you. I am here to hold you, and you are not too much. You are not overwhelming to me. I got you, and I want you to show me all of it, all of the complexity, all of the difficulty. I got you. So in this practice, what you would do is you would pull out a journal. I always have a journal. I love these like thick leather ones, but I also know a lot of people enjoy journaling even just on their notes app or opening up a Google Doc on their computer. Whatever works best for you, use that medium. And when you're feeling homesick, really try to engage with what feelings you have. I'm using the example of grief and longing, but it might be something different for you. Maybe it's sadness or pain or frustration. Whatever it is, write down, let's say, for example, it's longing. So I would give longing a voice. And from my inner self or from my wise parent self, I would ask longing, what do you need to say? What are you feeling right now? And longing might write, I feel so much pain because I miss my family and I feel like I can't be there with them. And I feel like I don't know what I'm doing because I feel all alone. And so then I might engage with that from the voice of a wise parent, right? A higher self, whatever you connect with, and say, tell me more about that. What does it feel like when you miss home? What do you miss about home? And longing might say, wow, I really miss who I am when I'm home. I really miss, the feeling of having my family around me, the feeling of just being who I am without fear of judgment or fear of messing up that unconditional love. And even as I'm saying this to you, I can feel myself being emotional, but that's how powerful this journaling practice is. This is going to allow yourself to really validate what you are feeling and to allow yourself to, yes, hold space for the grief and longing or those more challenging emotions that come from missing home. And at the same time, because you are giving that space, you are also going to allow yourself to expand and open up more room for feeling joy, for feeling happiness, and also for feeling the happiness of coming from where you come from or having the memories that you do, right? You might feel longing and grief, but as you go through that, you might connect with humor. Wow, I really miss my family's sense of humor. And then you remember all these beautiful, joyful memories. So what you're really doing is you are accepting yourself, you're accepting your feelings, and you are expanding for new emotions and feelings to come through. Remedy number 3, express your love for your home through creativity. A good example of this is the poem that I shared in the beginning, and I will tell you that I will read that poem every single time that I am feeling homesick, and I instantly feel rooted in who I am and where I come from. So I invite you to really engage with your creativity to connect with your love for your home. That might be through writing a poem, that might be through painting, that might be through creating a scrapbook or a collage, or maybe it's even creating a playlist that reminds you of home. Allow yourself to really engage with your creativity to connect with who you are at home, and do so without judgment. I think creativity can be such an amazing tool for connecting with what our soul and what our heart is feeling, because it sometimes allows us to put the mind on the side and really allows us to just immerse ourselves in what we are feeling. Remedy number 4, ask yourself, who am I when I am at home? This is another journaling practice, or you can simply go on a walk and ponder. A lot of the times I find that when I am feeling deeply homesick, not only is it for the land that I am from, my family, or from these beautiful memories that I have of growing up, but it's also really missing a part of myself that sometimes I feel only exists when I am at home. It's a side of myself that I feel like I always have to go home to recharge because it's so hard to find anywhere else. I want you to reflect for yourself, who are you? Who is the person that you miss when you are not able to be at home? What are those qualities? What are those activities that you do? And then the second part of this practice is to ask yourself, how can I bring that self or those qualities into my life where I am now? My last remedy for you is to immerse yourself in storytelling. Immersing yourself in storytelling, specifically storytelling around your home, can be extremely healing and like a soothing balm for your soul. If you're doing this with family members, maybe it's calling up a loved one and sharing and remembering some fun times together or funny memories that you might share. That is what keeps that fire within you alive, of being able to connect with home no matter where you are. Even if you're not a big orator, maybe you start writing some of your memories down. Another way to do this is to seek out media that portrays your home in a really authentic way. So you might look for books or for movies or for music that really portray your home in a way that makes you feel so seen, like, wow, they really get it and they really encompass this. For me, coming from New Mexico, a book that I always come back to is Bless Me Ultima by Rodolfo Anaya, who, of course is the godfather of Chicano literature, but to me, that story really captures home, that northern New Mexico and southern Colorado culture, and reminds me so much of my family and my roots and my birthplace, that when I read that, it's like, it is such a soothing balm for my soul and for my spirit and for my heart, and it makes me feel deeply connected to my roots, to my family, to my culture. Be open to finding that for you, and maybe you don't know something that exists out there, but maybe you can look up movies that take place in Enter Your Hometown or artists from Enter Your Hometown. And if it doesn't exist, again, engage with your creativity and know that you can create something for yourself as well. Those are all of my remedies for you on how to deal with homesickness the next time you miss home and don't feel like you can do anything about it. I hope that you found them helpful. I would love to hear which one you are going to try next. And I'd also love to hear what tips you might have. And please, please, please share them in the comments below and let me and others know what you do when you're feeling homesick or you miss home and can't do anything about it. I'm sure that there is somebody out there who is going to benefit from hearing your perspective and your voice. Before you go, I want to remind you that home always lives within you. I don't know the circumstances that are maybe preventing you from going home, whether they're personal or worldly or otherwise, but know that those memories always exist within you, that nobody can take that away, that nobody can take away the person that you were raised to be, the people who love you and poured their heart and soul into you and helped to create who you are, and that you always have the power to channel that energy, to channel that connection, and that you carry home with you wherever you go, no matter how far away from home you are. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe, and if you know somebody who would enjoy this or would benefit from this message, please feel free to share this video with them. Sending you so many blessings your way, sending you so much love. Until next time, take care.